In this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 MLB games happening on July 27, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 10 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 5 MLB games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Chicago Cubs versus Chicago White Sox. The 2025 Major League Baseball season keeps rolling on Sunday, July 27th, with the Crosstown Classic going down at Wright Field right there in Chicago, Illinois. It's shaping up to be a gritty Sunday battle between the Chicago Cubs and the Chicago White Sox, each side hungry to lock up the series victory. The Cubs came roaring back strong on Saturday, taking down the White Sox by a score of 6-1. Stepping up to the rubber for the Cubs in this series closer is Ben Brown, who's carrying a 4-7 record along with a bloated 6.48 earned run average. Brown's ridden a real roller coaster this year, with some good moments mixed in with the bad, but his last couple of outings have been rough. He's 0-2 with a sky-high 14 earned run average over those two. Over on the White Sox side, Sean Burke's slated to start, coming in with a 4.8 mark and a 4.19 earned run average. Burke's turned in a handful of solid performances for the White Sox this year, but he's had trouble lasting long in games, which piles extra strain on their bullpen that's sitting at a 4 earned run average for the season, just a tick worse than the Cubs' 3.8. The Cubs did a good job shutting down the White Sox bats in Saturday's tilt, but throwing Ben Brown out there makes it tough to see them repeating that feat. I just don't have faith in Brown holding it together based on how he's been pitching lately, and on top of that, the White Sox have been scorching hot with the sticks, putting up an average of 7.2 runs per game across their past 7 compared to the Cubs' more modest 4.6. As our first pick for this matchup, the Chicago White Sox money line is our full game side pick. The White Sox have posted a 6-3 over-under mark in their last 9 outings. The Cubs are at 4-2 on the over-under in their previous 6. Lately, both clubs have been shaky from the hill and have shifted gears to lean harder on their hitting. With the bats heating up on each side in recent matchups, we're probably looking at a game that piles on the runs. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Athletics versus Houston Astros. On Sunday, the Athletics are set to take on the Houston Astros over at Dakin Park. In July, these two starters are heading in opposite directions. JT Ginn sitting at 0-0 with a 3.6 earned run average and a 1.4 WHIP across 10 innings, mixing in 4 games with one of them as a start, while Colton Gordon's 1-1 with a rougher 5.82 earned run average and batters hitting .338 off him in 17 innings over 4 games, 3 of those as starts. When you look at how these lineups have been swinging since the All-Star break, it's like night and day. The Athletics rank 5th across the league with a team OPS of .832, and they're putting up an average of 5.13 runs through their 8 games. But the Astros are down at 22nd with a .688 OPS and just 4.5 runs on average in their 8 second-half outings. I see why somebody might just glance at this and figure the Astros have the upper hand playing at home. That said, the Astros haven't shown much life in this series so far, and let's be real, Gordon's probably one of the weaker links in that rotation. On top of that, the A's have been handling lefty pitching pretty solid over the past few weeks, and I reckon they've got what it takes to finish off the sweep. As our first pick for this matchup, the Athletics money line is our full game side pick. Both squads have been coming through when it counts with runners in scoring position. The Athletics sit 12th in the big leagues with a .747 team OPS in those spots, and the Astros aren't far behind at 16th with .729. Dig into the pitching for each side this month, and it's clear neither staff is locking things down, with the Athletics at 18th overall sporting a 4.39 team earned run average, while the Astros are 21st at 4.69. Plus, the over has hit in 7 of the last 10 head-to-head matchups between these two, with a couple pushes thrown in. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Cleveland Guardians versus Kansas City Royals. The Cleveland Guardians are squaring off against the Kansas City Royals, and both sides are itching to turn things around after some bumpy stretches this season. This month in July, these two clubs are pretty close when it comes to their pitching staffs, but there's a small edge. The Guardians rank 5th across the league with a solid 3.49 team earned run average, while the Royals aren't far behind at 8th with 3.52. Now, if you break down how they're hitting in their road and home splits, you see a noticeable difference. Cleveland's down at 26th overall with a .670 team OPS, and they're averaging about 3.98 runs over their 52 games away from home so far, whereas Kansas City sits at 29th with a .654 OPS and a meager 2.98 runs per game through their 50 home contests this year. As our first pick for this matchup, the Cleveland Guardians money line is our full game side pick. Lately, these starters have been doing a solid job keeping runs off the board in their recent outings. Joey Cantillo's sitting at 1-0 with a 3.38 earned run average and a 1.25 WHIP over 24 innings in his 4 starts, while Noah Cameron's 2-2 with an even sharper 3.03 earned run average and 1.14 WHIP across 38.2 innings in 7 starts so far. On top of that, both lineups have had a tough time cashing in when it matters most with runners in scoring position. The Guardians are 22nd in the majors with a .710 team OPS in those situations, and the Royals are lagging at 28th with .665. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Washington Nationals versus Minnesota Twins. On Sunday afternoon, the Washington Nationals, sitting at 41-62 and stuck in 5th place in the National League East, are facing off against the Minnesota Twins, who are 50-53 and holding down 3rd in the American League Central, for the wrap-up of their 3-game series up at Target Field. Heading into this series, the Twins had come out on top in 3 of their last 4 clashes with the Nationals, and that includes grabbing 2 wins out of 3 in their most recent meeting. Minnesota's pitchers had kept Washington in check 3 times across those 4 games. Overall, the Twins hold a clear edge when it comes to pitching. They're hanging around the middle of the league in a bunch of stats, while the Nationals are scraping the bottom in most of those same areas. Washington's arms are dead last at 29th in earned run average with a bloated 5.19, so you can bet the Twins will find plenty of chances to put runs on the board as the game rolls on. The Twins have been tough to beat on their home turf this season, pulling out wins in close to 60% of those games. Meanwhile, the Nationals have had a rough time on the road, dropping more than 60% of their away contests. On top of that, Washington hasn't managed to score a single run in either of their past 2 outings. As our first pick for this matchup, the Minnesota Twins money line is our full game side pick. Before this series kicked off, 2 out of the last 3 games between these 2 teams stayed under the total runs, and across their previous 3-game set in Minnesota, they only combined for 23 runs total. In the opener of this current matchup, just 1 lonely run crossed the plate. Minnesota's pitchers have been stingy against the Nationals, holding them to 2 runs or fewer in 4 of the last 5 meetings. Both teams are stuck in the lower half of the league for a lot of important hitting stats, like batting average, which means neither side is likely to erupt for a bunch of runs all at once. The Nationals just don't pack much punch when they're away from home, with a sluggish .395 slugging percentage and only 234 runs driven in over 1,711 plate appearances. Irvin did a decent job against the Twins in his start last year, allowing just 2 earned runs on 5 hits through 6.1 innings. Washington's been cashing the under in their last 3 straight games. Pretty much everything lines up for a game that keeps the score on the low side this Sunday in Minnesota. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Miami Marlins versus Milwaukee Brewers. A pair of National League squads are wrapping up their 3-game set on the field, both hunting for a victory up in Cream City as the Miami Marlins head over to face the Milwaukee Brewers this Sunday afternoon. The Marlins have grabbed wins in the past couple of games, putting them ahead in the series at 3-2 right now. Taking the mound today, it's Yuri Perez for the Marlins going up against Brandon Woodruff for the Brewers. Perez has been sharp in his last 4 turns on the hill. He's thrown 23 innings, allowing only 11 hits and 3 runs total. The Marlins pulled out victories in 3 of those 4 outings. Those are solid stats, no doubt, but this young arm is stepping into a tough spot against a Brewers squad that's hitting .264 over their last 6 games. We even saw Milwaukee rack up 11 hits in yesterday's defeat. I'm concerned that the Brewers' bats could really test this second-year pitcher. For Milwaukee, Woodruff's getting the start. He's only made 3 appearances this year, but he's looked strong in every one of them. Across those 16.1 innings, he's given up just 9 hits and 3 runs. Those kinds of numbers are outstanding and have fueled the hot run the Brewers were on before this series started. The biggest question mark for Milwaukee is their bullpen. We've seen it leak some runs in the last couple of games, which isn't the usual for them lately. This group has posted one of the lowest ERAs in the game over the past few weeks. I've got a feeling the Brewers will build off the energy Woodruff brings. The pen will snap back into form, and their lineup will prove too tough for Perez, maybe forcing some walks and scoring chances. As our first pick for this matchup, the Milwaukee Brewers money line is our full game side pick. These 2 starters have been locking things down in July so far. Yuri Perez is 3-1 with a stingy 1.17 earned run average and 0.61 WHIP over 23 innings in his 4 starts, while Brandon Woodruff's 2-0 with a 1.65 earned run average and holding hitters to .155 in 16.1 innings across 3 starts. Since the All-Star break, both staffs have stepped up big time, with the Marlins ranking 3rd in the league at 2.67 team earned run average and the Brewers right behind at 2nd with 2.61. The under has come through in the past 3 games. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.